Hey guys, how's it going? So man, I got a groovy song for you today. I just heard this for the first time yesterday on the radio. I don't know who this guy is. It's Johnny Blue Skies. I'd never heard this name before in my life. This song just grabbed me by the throat and threw me to the ground. And I was just in awe of like the production of it, the way the guitars sound, the way they're layered and panned and running counterpoint to each other and playing on different beats with different rhythms. It's so gnarly. The way he sings in that low tone of voice is so cool. The slide, like I immediately when I heard it, I thought, man, this sounds like it would be in a Quentin Tarantino movie or like a Rob Zombie film or something like that. And it just has such a cool vibe. And when I heard the slide guitar, I immediately went open tuning. That's got to be open tuning. So I figured out the whole song in an open tuning. I don't know if there's other guitars that are in standard tuning. When I first sat down trying to find everything in standard, I did. But there were certain parts and certain licks and certain things going on, other guitar parts, that just didn't sound right in standard tuning. It sounded like they were playing it in a different register that couldn't be gotten in standard. So I'm just going to teach the whole thing in an open tuning. Not a lot to it, but there's a lot of like counter rhythms and different things going on. So I'll show you all these different ways that you can play all these chords across the neck if you want to build the loop, if you want to have some fun with it. Play it a little differently in a band. I'll show you some of the signature riffs that are going on throughout it, and then I'll show you a guitar solo that I came up with for it. There is like a little slide solo, but I'm not a slide player. I've never really messed with slide in my life. I can like fake it and do chords and stuff like I did in that loop, but it's just something I hadn't gotten around to learning because I'm so focused on, you know, working on so many other things that are more important to me. But anyway, man, yeah, it's so groovy. And then I look up the song and I'm like, who is this Johnny Blue Skies? It's Sturgill Simpson. And I was like, what? Now, I don't even know him. I don't know any of his music. And I read on the AI overview that he had some kind of vocal injury and that his voice didn't sound the same. So he didn't want to put out music under Sturgill Simpson anymore because he didn't sound like that guy any longer. So kudos to him for taking what life gave him, rolling with the punches, and coming up with this, because this shit is grooving. But anyway, man, that's it. Let's just go ahead and get into the intro. Alright, so for the tuning, like I said, man, I'm pretty sure at least one guitar is using this tuning. If not, then I guess I'm just coming up with this and making it much harder than it needs to be. But we're going to go G, B flat, D, G, B flat, D, right? So basically you have two G minor triads, right? So G, B flat, D, G, B flat, D. Alright, and that'll be the tuning that we'll use for the entire song. And then the rest of the song, it's really mainly just like four chords, right? You just have G minor to A minor, and then you have like the refrain part, it's just going to be D minor to C minor. So like you could play that on a standard guitar, but I don't know, man, things just didn't sound right to me. And then there's some other fills and stuff we'll get into that I thought just sounded better being tuned this way and having the intervals of the notes closer together by being in an open tuning. So we'll start out with like the main part, right? Alright, so there's a lot of different, those would be like the main chords throughout, and then I'll show you other ways you can play them and layer them, because there are other chords that kind of play on different beats that run counterpoint to it and are played in different like octaves and registers. But so we'll start out, we'll go 5 on D, 3 on G, 4 on B, 5 on the high E. Now I'm going to smack down on these. Sometimes I smack harder at times than others, but we're just doing all upstrokes, right? So you can leave out the muted hits if you wanted to. So we're basically going G minor to A minor. So 5, 3, 4, 5. Take the same shape up 2 frets. We're going to go 7, 5, 6, 7. And this one will just be a rest and then an upstroke, right? Okay, so you just go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Alright, so that's the 4 and. So the and to 4, you're going to upstroke that A minor, right? And it does that, what, 3 times? it does it 3 times, and the 4th time you just, okay, and then he starts singing, right? And the first time I saw you, I knew you'd be trouble, whatever the lyrics are, right? And it just kind of does that a couple times. He'll do the little bridge walk down, the like da 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 da. There's a situation, whatever the lyrics are, right? So then we'll just go 7th fret on G, B, and E, and you can kind of play with the rhythms on these, right? When I'm layering it on top of everything else, I'll go down, up, muted down hit, and upstroke, and then I'll do an up down at the end after hitting it twice with an upstroke. Then go down 2 frets, so we're going from D minor to C minor, and then go down 2 frets to 5 on G, B, and E, do the same pattern. Okay, and then you're back into your, alright, and then it just keeps doing that over and over again. So that's the main part, and that really never changes, right? And so then on top of that, and running kind of counter rhythm to that, you can also play these up higher and do like a, and so there's kind of this thing going on of like, and then you have another guitar that's coming in on the 1, and it's going, right? So you have that going on too. So like it's the same chord, but it's coming in on the 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, and 2. That's really what gives it its sound, is all these guitar parts and the different rhythms and the different beats that they're being kind of stabbed on. So you can also come up here and just do this okay, it's the same thing, it's the same chord as this, your G minor, but we're going to go 15 on G, 16 on B, and 17 on the high E. Kind of rest, upstroke, rest, upstroke, rest, up, up. Okay, and that'll be your G minor, and then you can walk down like your D minor to C minor. Alright, so then you can go 14 on G, 16 on B, 15 on high E. Whatever rhythm you want to play there. I think most of the time I was playing it straight or just hitting like a, okay, then take the same shape down 2 frets, go 12 on G, 14 on B, and 13 on high E. Okay, and then back to your 15, 16, 17. And that's everything, right? So just layering that and then doing like the 1 and the 2 thing, right? Because this runs counterpoint to this, so you have, and then in between that you're going, so then on top of that you're going, and that's running in between, and then you have, right, if you really listen you can hear all this stuff going on. And so those are all the chords you need. You can kind of play around with them. You can make a loop. I made this 5 beats faster than the tempo. Tempo's at 105. I felt it better at 110, so I'm playing it 5 beats faster. But that's all the chords for the entire song. There's like a gnarly thing at the end where it really speeds up and starts just getting like crazy. And there's like an instrumental thing that almost sounds like the Who's Eminence Front. It almost kind of has that kind of vibe to it. And from there, what else we got? Okay, so there's this part, kind of sounds like there's like a wah thing going on, maybe like an octave effect or something. And you can do this, I like to mute in between, but it's just that. Hearing this part is what really made me think in open tuning, because playing those intervals in standard tuning, I just couldn't match the same tonality as the recording, right? So you can use like an octave pedal, an overdrive pedal, whatever you want, and then you're just gonna have 11th fret on B and E up to 12 B and E, and you just pick both of them, right? Don't slide in like you want to like pick it, okay? And that'll be that whole thing, and then I'll kind of mute in between. And that's that other part, the kind of signature part you hear throughout the song, right? And then I'm not a slide player. I had to dig up a slide. I couldn't even believe I had a slide. Shows you how much I play slide because it's a brass one. But basically, in between that, you have like that little and you just have that, right? So you can just take your slide and you can go to 12th fret on like D, G, and B, and just slide off, and then you can slide into it and give it some vibrato, right? So that's like the extent of my ability with the slide in my hand. So maybe one day I'll get to that. I got more important things I'm prioritizing that I want to learn on the guitar before I get into slide. So that's that little part, and that's all the production stuff, right? Those are all the chords you need. Those are all like the rhythms and the different ways you can play the chords to kind of have that polyrhythm and that kind of panning situation going on. And then we got all the little fills and stuff like that, the little slide thing up and down. And the only other thing is the bridge part, right? So the bridge part, basically you get out of the verse, right? So you'll be like okay, and we're basically just going to play the same chords but in a different order, right? So we're going to start and go to C minor once we get out of the end of the chorus, right? So you're going to hang on that for 1, 2, and 3, and 4. And you're going to hang on that for like 8 beats on 5th fret, G, B, and E. Okay, and then go back to the G minor already that we did, 5, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and then you kind of give it a mute up, mute up, mute up, up. And again, this is running counterpoint to the other chords that are going like and doing all that stuff in between, right? So you hear kind of like this bounce where everybody's filling in a beat. Everybody's filling in a gap on a different beat. It's so cool. Whoever produced this must have like been really stoned or on acid or something, man, because it's just so different than anything I've heard. I spend all my free time like dissecting songs. It's been a long time since I've heard something this funky, where all the guitars are kind of like coming in on different beats right against each other. It's so unique. It's so cool. And so anyway, yeah, so the bridge, right? You're just going to go back from like C minor to G minor. Okay, play with the rhythm however you want, and you do that twice, and then you just walk down your standard refrain from that D minor to C minor, 7 G, B, and E to 5 G, B, and E. Okay, then we're going to go back from G minor to A minor. Do that once. Okay, and then stab your little G minor at the end twice. And then walk back the refrain again. And it kind of does it however many times differently. Like sometimes it does it once, sometimes it does it twice, sometimes it may do it 4 times towards the end. Okay, so that's everything. That's the intro, that's the chorus refrain, that's the bridge. Those are all the extra chords that you can have different rhythms with, running counterpoint if you want to make a loop. or a recording of it, and that's all that stuff. Towards the end, it gets super gnarly, and it like the tempo increases like by a lot, and then you just have this like, and it just starts getting really out there, right? And then it just kind of does that for the end of the whole song. I don't think it changes keys or anything. I'm pretty sure it's still the same key. It just kind of goes into warp speed. And then from there, there's a guitar solo, right? And let's go ahead and get into that. So like I said, man, I'm not a slide player. I thought it'd be simple because it's just like one string and stuff like that. But I couldn't get everything in tune. It was bugging the shit out of me because I never practiced slide like a day in my life, right? Like I can fake it and do a chord or something, but doing single notes, I was like, damn, I got a newfound respect for Derek Trucks. If I didn't already have enough respect for that guy and any other slide player, because it's not as like easy as it seems. I'll get into that down the road, you know, when I get bored with other stuff. But right now I got other stuff I'm trying to get. But so anyway, the solo, right? So basically it comes in like it comes in off of that G minor chord, right? And it's just kind of like a, all right, so the opening line, we're going to slide into 12 on D, and then we're going to go 10 to 12 on G. Okay, and then we're going to go 11 on G and 9 on B. I like to use my middle and index finger because it's easy to overbend it. And then we're just going to do a unison bend and just give it some vibrato, do like a kind of Jimmy type of thing, right? Bring that up. Then I'm going to put my pinky down on 12 on B, and I'm going to mute that out. And I'm going to pull off 12 to 10 on G and then get 12 on D. Okay? Then we're going to go, I don't know anything about modes, but I know kind of what they sound like. This is probably some Phrygian type of thing, right? So we're going to go 12 on G, then go 14 on G, then hammer on to 15, pull off 15 to 14, and pull off 14 to 12. Okay, and then go 13 on D to 12 on D. Okay, give us some vibrato. Then we're going to palm mute, and we'll go 12 to 11 on A. I'll do that twice. And then I'm going to hit 11 on the low E and 9 on A. It's kind of like that dissonance. So 11 E, 9 on A. And then I'm just going to slide up to 12 on E by itself and slide off. Alright, so. Okay, and then from there. Alright, so we'll go so slide back in to 12 on D and then go 10 to 12 on G and then hammer on 10 to 12 on G. Give it some vibrato, and then I'll bend up 12 on the B string just like a quarter step. You could slide 12 to 15. You could do that too. I just thought it sounded better going. I'll alternate. A lot of this I'll hybrid pick. Just kind of do whatever you want, right? After you bend up 12 on B, then we're going to go 15 on G. And 15 on G, right? And then rake back dead the E and B string and slide back 19 to 17 on G. And then pick 15 on G. Do that twice. And then bend up 17 on G. Okay? So we go. Okay, and after I bend up 17 on G, I'm going to hold it up. And then I'm going to grab 15 on the high E. And I'm going to bring back down the bend on 17 on G, pick it again, and let the G and E ring out 17 and 15. Okay, so that'll be that little part. Okay, and then I'm going to kind of mimic a little bit what he's doing on the slide. He kind of does this wah, 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 wah. It's not exact, I'm just trying to like get the same kind of flavor he is. Alright, so we're going to go so we'll go 12 on E. I'm going to pop all these with my middle finger. 12, 15 to 12. Okay, and then I'm going to start giving some heavy vibrato, right? Go 15, 17, then 19, back to 15, back to 12, then 14 to 12 on B, and then bend up 11 on B like a half step, and then get 12 on the G string. Okay, and then we're going to repeat that line again and then get out of it differently towards the end. Alright, so at the end, after you bend up on 11 on B and go to 12 on G, then we're going to go. So we'll just have 10 on G, then mute out the G and rake back 12 to 10 on the D string, then go 8 on D, then slide into 11, slide back to 10, pull off 10 to 8 on D. Right, so then we're gonna have 7 on D, hammer on, pull off 7 to 8 on D, and then land 9 on G. Okay. And then you can just slide off, right? So that's that whole kind of like solo. Just trying to give it the same vibe as he was giving it with the slide, but kind of play my own thing. I hate using external devices for the guitar. I think I told this story once before, but man, I showed up to a gig without a capo once, and it was an absolute nightmare. And I swore I would never let that happen again. And a normal person would just like keep an extra capo in their car, in their case, and just make sure they never forget a capo. But me, I'm like, I'm gonna learn every song like 3 different ways. I'm gonna learn it with the capo, I'm gonna learn it without the capo, and I'm gonna learn it in an open tuning so that I'm never caught with my dick in my hand, so to speak, right? So like, I hate that. And same thing with slide. Like if all you know is how to play it on slide, you're like, oh shit, what am I gonna do now? So I didn't like that feeling. So I don't like being dependent on things to clip on your guitar, a slide, whatever it is. I just want to be able to play things with my fingers and not have to worry about having other tools that I need in case something happens or goes wrong, right? So that's the whole solo. There's really not a lot to the whole song, but when you hear it, it sounds like so many different things are going on, right? So it's just, yeah, man, it's a lot. So you want to go over the solo real slow? I go over really slow, so we'll have, or if I can remember it. Alright, so that's like the whole little solo thing I came up with. It's like, it's got like probably like 25% of what he's doing in there, just giving it the general vibe of what he's doing with the slide. But man, it is such a groovy song. It's been a long time since I heard a song that was caught my attention this way, where I was just like, whoa, what is that? And Yeah, so good. And I just like, I don't know, man. Something about it just really like grabbed me. And the video is kind of weird. It looks like something I would have done when I first started learning how to edit videos. No disrespect to whoever did it, but like the way it's just like random snippets of like TV shows and movies and cartoons to match what he's saying with his lyrics. It's kind of cool. But yeah, man, there was a YouTube comment. It's like the first comment you'll see if you go click on the video. And the guy says, "Man, this song fucks so hard, I want to leave money out for it on the nightstand." That cracked me up, man. There's some funny people in the YouTube comment section. But anyway, man, it's a great tune. I hope you dig it. Yeah, man, I don't know if it's in this tuning or not, but it works. And it sounds good. It sounds like the recording. You can have some fun with it. But that's it, man. Just practice slow. Have fun. We'll see you next time.